guys, welcome to today. Now I posted something on Facebook and Twitter about a potential to work for a haulier with the initials E and S, and they're a relatively well-known general haulier. And Craig Job, you said seems like you need to sit down with a bottle of bourbon and a bit of vlog time, I would assume, to explain this. So, a bottle of bourbon. And a vlog time. Now, what do I mean by this? As you are all most likely aware, the landlady is going through a divorce and most likely going to be selling this. Now, certain things have changed. She has agreed to allow us to have a rolling contract for up to 12 months, which is actually very nice. I mean, the landlady of this place has always been very nice, very good. We've never had any issues. And because she's going through a divorce and it is sudden and it's going to have a knock-on effect to a lot of people, there's been various discussions, and we're allowed up to another 12 months on a rolling contract, so we can sort ourselves out and do a few bits and bobs. Now, in order to make this work safely, I am going to have to get a shot of the I-30 and get a replacement for it. The car on finance, it's not going to be viable. So I'm looking into things like that, but I still have to make up a couple of grand on it. But because I've got another 12 months, every 12 months I'm paying 3,500 and change on the car. So over a period of time I will knock that down and be able to get rid of it, but whatever. What I'm talking about is, as you are also aware, Bert wants to do her arts and crafts, and as usual, since she's launched a little Facebook thing, the link to her Facebook page is down below in the description if you want to have a shufty. Because she wants to do her arts and crafts, a lot of arts and crafts, photos on canvas, well, landscape photos on canvas and drawings and glass etching and stuff like that. It's more kind of what a tourist would buy. It's more kind of a souvenir more than home decor. I mean, home decor, you're getting into plates and various tableware, you're getting into certain chairs and loads of other bits and bobs as well. And you can't really start a small company with 1,001 products. You've got to start somewhere and build up. And so we've been having a discussion, and last week I went up to Cumbria, had a little drive round there in the Terrican. We took the Terrican, the 2.9 diesel Terrican. Now, very quickly, and just skipping slightly here, on the way up, and a little bit of a drive when we got up there, because we were up there Tuesday and Wednesday, we came back Wednesday. I did all the driving, by the way. We did 410 miles, and when I filled it up, I brimmed it, it went click, and then I put in another 6 litres. Yeah? Every time I filled it, I went click and squeezed in another 6 litres. Sounds like quite a lot considering I went up to the click, but it is a big car, and you'll be amazed how many more litres you can fit into a car after the first click. But every time, 6 litres. Now obviously it wasn't a perfect 6 litres, but we're talking tiny variations in it, and again, tiny variations in, well, did the first click go off a bit earlier or a bit late, stuff, things like that. But anyway, we did 410 miles on the trip up there and the initial look round. When I filled it back up, it was 52.11 litres. That equals 35.77 miles per gallon rounded, okay? Then we were up there, we were buggering about. This was up in Cumbria, going up and down all the hills and up to Adrian's Wall and everything like that. Did 196.5 miles before refilling. Again, click. And that was 29.73 litres, which equals 30 miles a gallon, roughly. And then we came back. Now the drive on the way back was from Scotch Corner back to Stansted Airport. And there were a couple of road closures, so I ended up going in and bleating everywhere down this way. We did 214.3 miles, 22.78 litres, 42.7 miles per gallon. Even I didn't believe that one. But just in case you're curious, a bit of an aside, because I haven't reviewed the Terrican yet, and I really should. There are a couple of niggles with it because of its age, but you can't really blame the car for age-related niggles. But I haven't done a review on it, and I need to sort that out. But I thought I'd say that. But anyway, yes, we went up, had a shifty round Cumbria because that's where we're planning on moving to. Now, some people are going to say, why? There's sod all to do up there. Trucker Jay, I know he did, because I talked to him directly. He's on my WhatsApp and various things like that. Now, the reason is arts and crafts, tourist destination. Bert can open up a shop, have an actual on the high street presence. And she also has a wedding and events planning qualification. So another little string to her bow if she chooses to use it in an area of the nation where a lot of people do get married. And in the right area of Cumbria, we are on obviously the border with Scotland. And a lot of people do get married up there, around the borders area. So being a wedding planner in that area could bring in a bit of dosh, or a bit of money. And obviously that would be Lisa's job. But of course I'd be looking for work as well when we got up there, and one of the biggest employers up there is ES. And you got the Carlisle Airport, haven't you? They're quite a large haulier out of that area. And the simple fact is that if I'm an agency boy, which I am, and we go off up there, I'm going to need work. And I sign on to whatever agency or agencies. And they asked me one day to go into so-and-so, ES. So that's why I said there is a strong possibility I could be working for ES in the not too distant future. Now, any move that is likely to happen is not going to happen until next year. The reason being is we were thinking about doing it a lot sooner. And the cat is back. We were thinking about doing it a lot sooner. But car on finance, couple of loans, credit cards, so on and so forth. I need to get that. I need to get on top of those. That's been my plan all year. I need to sort that out, do the consolidation stuff and so on and so forth. I have spoken to the bank since the last time I was down there, explained the change in circumstances and the fact that we're not going to be moving for the foreseeable. And as long as I can clear one of my credit cards and show that my car has finished, it's gone, then obviously I'm showing that I'm telling the truth. I'm not just trying to get money and so on and so forth. So I'll most likely be able to get a very good rate for the loan from them. Again, I am still looking round, but at the moment I want to pay stuff down more than I want to reloan it, if that makes sense. Because if you want to get rid of debt, clearing what you can, paying off what you can, makes more sense than reloaning it and carrying it forward. Now, myself and Bert had a discussion, and I have quiet time. Every agency, well, virtually every driver will know of a quiet time in February and March time, where there is a distinct lack of overtime, or if your agency, a distinct lack of work. It's just a general downtime. Now, I usually, or used to, plan my time off for the end of Feb, beginning of March. Last 2 weeks in Feb, first 2 weeks of March, I'd usually just take off. I wouldn't bother. I'd be like, don't worry, give any odd shifts to the people that need it. I've saved, I've prepared, I've planned. I'll just have 4 weeks off. And the first week used to just be creating the hangover for the second week. But I'll put that down there and I shall go back to the old Strongbow dark fruit. But the thing is, if we move in quiet time and I have 4 weeks off, then freedom. I can just, freedom! I can just move up there. Get Bert used to the area, because Bert's not the most confident driver on the planet. If she goes to somewhere new, she doesn't like being on her own. And she has actually voiced to me that if we move, she would like me to have at least 2 weeks with her, getting her used to the area so she knows where the local shop is, where she's going to be working, you know, the routes that she can use, which is fine, absolutely fine. She's trying to do the safe thing, learn the routes before just going out on her own. Fine, not an issue. And of course, moving, it does take some time, it does take it out of you, you've got to sort everything out, get localised, so on and so forth. And I just thought, well, if I can take, if we can move in the quiet time, I've got the money behind me, I'm ready to survive it, doesn't matter if I'm not getting any shifts, I've got the money there. Makes sense. And for Bert's Arts and Crafts, it would be the best place. I mean, think of the photos that she could take. Like, excuse me, sorry about that. The one on the wall, photo. On the wall, on the canvas. It's the road coming out of Grasmere. Heading north. And you'll come across the house on the right hand side, or if you're going into Grasmere, or on the left hand side. The images around there, you know, the things you could put on canvas, again, souvenirs for the tourists and things like that. It just makes so much more sense than trying to do something where you're essentially making souvenirs. We live in Braintree. Who the hell goes on holiday to Braintree? Even Chelmsford. Who goes there for a holiday? You don't, do you? Colchester, you might be the odd person, but if you're going to holiday on Colchester, you're a bit hard up. You know, I mean, okay, you got Clacton and around that area and all the seafronts around here, but again, it's distance to travel to go and sell your wares versus fuel being used, markups, what people are liable to be able to afford in going on holiday in these areas. And again, Cumbria, it's people go from all over the place. When we were up there, we stopped at one place and there was some ramblers walking up to these ruins. It was an old monastery or something that had been destroyed in Henry VIII's day. And we were walking up behind them and Bert had a camera to take cut photos. And they were American. They weren't Southern State, they were... oh, they did tell me. It was Washington, wasn't it? Yeah, they were from Washington, in the US of A. So people go to Cumbria, and obviously the Scottish borders for Hadrian's Wall and things like that. You set up the right store in the right place, selling stuff like that, from that area. You know, it's almost shooting fish in a barrel, let's be fair. And of course, having an online presence, which we are planning on building. I mean, the YouTube content we could make up there. Just what she's doing, where she's going. You know, things like that. I mean, there's off-roading potential like anything up there, and I could get myself another Defender. I could try and roll this one as well. I've only rolled 3 of them. Is it 3 or is it 4? Well, I'm sure it's only 3. I've rolled a few of them, whatever. Oh, it makes me sound like such a bad driver. But they were all on quite extreme off-roading adventures. where you do tend to roll them. I mean, to be fair, calling them a defender at that point in time was a bit of a loose use of the term defender. They were a defender at one point, but by this point in time they were more roll caged than anything else. But yeah, I could go off-roading again. Set my cameras up. Ta-da. And the other thing is, I'd actually look into creating a gun club. A clay shooting gun club. Obviously I'd have to be very careful because the ban on lead shot prohibits it from a lot of areas. But certain farmland, certain areas, just outside of, say, an industrial estate, for example, not on a water course or things like that, I would be able to create a gun club and run a clay pigeon club. Ooh. Run a shooting range. Could do archery as well, and an off-roading course. Oh mate, yeah. Oh, that'd do me, that would. I'd be happy as a pig in crap if I could do that. Hell yeah. But again, the issue with being here in the south, for anybody who isn't from the home counties or the south, is the expense. No, okay, yeah, I could go to Cornwall, I could go to Wales, I could go anywhere else. I know Cumbria, okay, fair enough. Is the expense. I mean, you can find 3-bed, semi-detached houses in reasonable areas. No different to these kind of areas where I'm living at the moment. Crime rates roughly the same, all that kind of stuff. For about 400 quid a month. This, 850. It's actually gone up. It's 880 now. 880 quid a month in Cumbria. Look, go on Rightmove. Have a look. It's the expense. Yes, I can go out and do this, but I'm going to be spending all that money on fuel, all that money on this. I'm not going to be able to buy certain luxuries like, I don't know, food. And things like that, you know. And the other thing is, there was a couple of places we were looking at whilst we were up there, just getting a feel for it, you know. And they were barn conversions on working farms that just so happened to have a little barn, I say a little barn, a reasonable storage area, about 5 times the size of an average car garage, tacked onto the end, that they're willing, yeah, that comes with it as well, you can store all your stuff in there. Oh, the room! I could actually fix up a series Land Rover. I could actually do that. I'd have the room. I'd have the space. I'd be able to put in a little mini ramp thing. You know, the ones that you can kind of get, they're not built in or anything like that, but you kind of drive up on them and there's 4 little dibs and they can raise it all the way up. I could actually do that. I can't do it down here. Well, I could, but it'd all be on axle stands and little ramps and stuff like that, and the camera angles would just be, I'd need lighting in my face so as you could see what was going on, because I tried it. I actually put there was some work I needed to do on the Terrican before we went away, because it is an older car, it is high mileage, there were certain things I just wanted to do. And I put them up on the ramps I bought not so long ago. That I bought originally for the Mondeo, but it was too low, it wouldn't fit. And I thought, I'll record it. I'll create some content. And the only way, it was, you were zoomed in the entire time because of the distances. You were right on it the entire time. It was pretty much like, yes, this is about as close as you would have been. So you'd have missed a whole load of stuff. You know, if I'd have looked at the camera, it would have been that. And you're just looking at it and you're thinking, I can do stuff up here. If I'm doing stuff from the bonnet down, fine. But if you're under it, I was just, and I'm just thinking about it, and it just makes the most logical sense. Yes, the work isn't as prevalent up there, but if I can get all my finances sorted to one payment, maybe 2, If I can get shot of the I-30 and get some, I've been having a look at Volvo S80s. You know, reasonable mileage, about 40, 50, 60,000 miles. Not bad for 2.4s and 2.7s and things like that, or 2.8s, sorry, and things like that. Automatics, primarily. Older ones. They're only about £2,000. You know, if I can do stuff like that, if I can figure that out, then the rent is sod all. I mean, I can find places up there to rent. We found one. It was £525 a month. It was a 3-bed detached barn with a little barn attachment, as they like to call it, or storage area. You know, and it's literally just a barn. You look at it and you're like, that's as high as the house. Oh yeah, well it used to be a barn. It's just the end of it. I could get a 4-poster in here. That's how my brain works, by the way, just so as you're aware. It does. The only reason I'm not doing much with cars at the moment is because of my financial situation. And yeah, I really do. I look at storage areas like, can you get a 4-poster in here? Could get a 2-poster. Things like that. Could put the snap-on toolbox over there. That's how I look at things, I'm sorry. But I was looking at it and I was thinking, the rent will be cheaper. I mean, I could halve my monthly payments on my loans. In actual fact, the $525 a month, and electricity and water was included, because it all runs off the farm's gubbins. I was looking at it and I was like, I pay more than that as my share of this place, the rent, council tax, before water, electric and everything else. You know, if I can bring all my payments down, my monthly payments down to say £450, and the rent, I could only have to work 3 days a week, Saturday, Sunday and Mondays. And everything else we could do with Bert's Arts and Crafts and wedding planning and whatever else, you know. Yeah. All that time. And the views and so that's basically our plan. So as you're aware, okay? Because Craig, you did ask us, you did say sit down with some bourbon. Well, I know I went to the Strongbros, but I really like these. I really like these. But that's essentially what we're thinking of. Because for who we are, I mean, Bert likes to think. Look, the link is below. Okay, her first Facebook page for her little lemonade design stuff is below. Her name is Lisa. Okay, you'll see it in the link. It's the worst kept secret on the internet. Because I've met a couple of you guys. One of you I worked with for a while. And hello, Luke. Hello. And you come up and you think it's Bertha or something like that. And it's not, okay? If anybody's curious as to why she's called Bert, I play with words a lot. If you were to meet me and get to know me and stuff like that, I play with words a lot. I'll use the wrong word here and there just for a bit of a giggle. But if you say bird fast enough, right, bird? Right, bird? How are you, bird? Right, bird? Lovely bird. Sounds like Bert. And it kind of grew from there. And she's never going to forgive me for telling you this. But she asked me when we first got together, why do you call me Bert? And I said, Bert and Ernie. You know, just the first thing off my head, you know. It was that stage in the relationship where you don't really want to say, I just play with words, you know, I'm a bit thick. It was that moment. And I just said Bert and Ernie. And her response cemented the fact she is called Bert. Because her response was, who are they? Oh dear. Sorry for the interruption, had to get another one, you know. Well, you bastards did want to see me drinking whilst doing this, so there we go. But yeah, she didn't know who Bert and Ernie were. fair enough, if you didn't watch Sesame Street growing up, fine, whatever. But it just cemented why I call her Bert. But her name is actually Lisa. Okay, there you go. And if anybody's curious, because this has been going on for long enough now, alright? I'm entitled to use Bill, but I don't go by Bill in my day-to-day. My name is William, okay? So I am entitled to use Bill. My grandfather called Bill. Although his name was George. Yeah. I never understood why it was called Bill. Well, I do actually. His middle name was William. Kind of a namesake, if you see what I mean. My mum named me after her dad. And because Bill was Bill. Bill was actually Bill to his kids. It was a massive revelation according to my mum. She was in her 20s. And she discovered her dad's name was George. And he hated it because he was named after his dad. And it's a whole long story. That's another upload. I'll get onto that one day. But yeah, my name's William, but I don't go by Bill usually. I mean, I'm starting to change to that now because most people, they see my, you know, hi, I'm William, da 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 da, and they're like, oh right, Bill. And I've just started to kind of go by that, but I always used to go by Liam. There you go. But there you go. So you know us now, okay? I was never hiding anyway. It was, I wanted, when I started doing this, because I can be a bit of a controversial bastard sometimes, and I can, although I haven't really been that bad since I've started this. It was a case of I wanted to know, if I'm walking through a services and someone goes, right Bill, I instantaneously know where you know me from. Yeah? So if I'm walking through a services and someone goes, Bill! I'm like, I pissed him off. So I'm ready. It's going to be a YouTube thing. He doesn't know me. Whatever. You know? So that's kind of why I did that. But it's just got to the stage now where I've met a few of you. And Luke, it was, oh mate. When I bumped into you at work. Oh, the look on your face. Because I'd only just started there. And I was chatting to another driver. Yeah, I was just getting to know everyone. I was chatting to another driver. We were at the fuel island. I think I was going through the water at the time. And Luke turned up. And he gets out. And he's just like, grinning at me as he's walking past. He's literally... I can't do that face justice. I'm sorry, Luke. But... you just like looking at me, and you're like, as you were going past, and I can't remember what it was now. I know you actually turned around and said, "Are you not doing any more uploads, or are you not uploading at the moment?" And that's what gave it away. But you said it just before I was about to go. Are you all right, mate? But yeah, that was quite funny. I've met a few of you now, and it's just a case of, yeah, okay, I go by Bill from now on. I think it's more logical to do that. And if you're curious as to why I never used to, outside of when I was at college, uni and all that kind of stuff, when I went to college there was 4 other Williams on my course. So all the usual shortens had been taken, and nobody had done the Liam thing, so that's where it actually kicked off. But I started thinking, because Bill, my mother's father, a person who influenced me greatly, I carry a photo of him in my wallet even now. He fought in World War II. He got invalided out of World War II. He was just this powerhouse of a human being in everything he did. I always just used to think I haven't earned the right to be called Bill. I know that sounds odd, but that's the reason why I never used to shorten it to Bill. It's pretty simple. But when I started the YouTube channel, I just thought, well, you know, truck drivers are called Dave, Bob, Bill, all this kind of stuff. And I thought, Trucker Bill just fits, doesn't it? And so I just started that way, and it gives me that kind of, I will respond to Bill, because my name's William, and so on and so forth. But yes, it's William and Lisa, alright? Bert. And I will always call her Bert, and I hope that you will always call her Bert as well. Just because I know it winds her up. But yeah, there you go. I just thought I would do that one for you. Because it's been long enough now, let's be fair. But yeah, it's if we go north because of what Bert is doing, it just makes sense. It would work better in that environment, I think, for everything. And the other thing is, because of the money we would essentially save, because I'm not just going to go 3 days a week, okay, that's not going to happen. I'm going to continue to do my 5, hopefully 6. You know, 5, 6, 5, 6, 5 on, 1 off, 6 on, 2 off, there you go. I'm going to continue to do that kind of thing. But because everything will hopefully be lower, the payments on the rent will be lower, and things like that, and hopefully the income from the arts and crafts side of things, and maybe wedding planning, will boost us. It will hopefully allow us to build something, a business, an actual functioning business that we can rely on, and get us to Canada. Because both of us, wherever we move in within the UK, both of us want to go to Canada. Okay? If I could get into America, I would. But Canada is... It's not like Canada is a good second to America. Please don't think that. Canada is just... The USA is 3.8 million square miles. Canada is circa 3.8 million square miles. The USA, 360 something million people live there. Canada, 39 million people live there. It's just so much more open, so much more potential. So to get yourself to Canada, and this is for somebody, so look at New Zealand and things like that. Canada will grow. Okay, that's guaranteed. Whether they do the globalisation thing, whether they do the nationalist thing, I really don't give a rat's ass. Canada will grow. Okay? They will get the trade agreements with the EU, with Britain after Brexit, whatever. Don't even open up that can of worms. Just don't. I didn't vote in it, so shut up. Anyway, they will trade with, obviously, Commonwealth nations. Australia, New Zealand, so on and so forth. They will grow. And if you can get to that kind of land, mass, and set yourself up, your family, for future generations, you're made. Okay? So Canada is essentially, for myself and Bert, the perfect location. We like a colder climate anyway. And it's just... We both like Canada. There you go, alright? So, there you go. It's as simple as that. But yeah. Hopefully, this is a stepping stone on the way to Canada. But please understand, I've got my debts to sort out. I've got to get on top of these. I don't want to go to Canada with debt. Okay? I desperately don't want to do that. Because it makes life so much harder. Because the debt is in pounds sterling, I will be earning Canadian dollars. The exchange rate pretty much doubles my debt. You know, and if I've gone from around 52,000 down to what I am now, 25, 26, that kind of thing, or that area, I don't really want to go to Canada and be 52,000 back in debt again. Do you see my logic? So, yeah, that's it. Okay, so Craig, I hope this explained the entire thing for you. Why I tweeted there is a strong possibility I will be working for ES in the near future. I hope that covered that. You now know that I am entitled to use Bill. It's not just some pseudonym I pulled out my arse. Yeah, because my arse is up there. No, it's about here, actually. For all the people that don't like me, that's roughly where my arse is. And of course, Bert is Lisa, okay? But anyway, I think that's enough for today. I've blathered on as per usual. I'm now going to finish this. I have a date with the rest of this. I won't be waking up tomorrow. Anyway, catch you later. Like, subscribe, share about, do whatever it is you usually do. Links are down below in the description. Facebook, Twitter, Bert's, Facebook. Okay? I'll see you in the next one. Catch you later, guys.